Controlled Chaos here. I want to talk to you about the 5 reasons Sea Heroes is such an addictive video game and MMO. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to talk about is the combat. The combat is just really good. It's interactive, it feels good. It may be a target system combat, but just feels right, and there are many reasons why. The first one being animations. They look good, they feel good. You know, when you're being hit and there's a miss, your character actually dodges and weaves and things like that. So it feels right, it feels great. The other thing is physics. Physics are great. When you knock someone down, when you knock them back, the ragdolling, all of that just add to the world. On top of that, with combat, you got the visuals of the combat. You got the particle effects that go off when things hit and you're firing your energy blasts or your electric blasts. You got characters when they're shocked, jiggling around and electricity going around them. When they're dazed, they got the swirls and little stars over their heads, and they got an animation for that. You know, the sound effects. When you make a heavy character, there's actual thuds to your steps that are heavier than the other characters. When you really hit someone, the heavier hits you do, the more heavier the sounds are. Just really add to the total feel of the combat, which just makes it feel great. Now I want to talk about archetypes and powers. Most MMOs and games, they give you a few choices, normally about 10, and you're just choosing your class and your race, and that's it. With this, you're choosing your class, which is your archetypes, and then once you're done doing that, you got this long list of powers to go through, and you don't even have to take them in sequence. You can actually skip some and choose others. You got your secondary, your primaries, your secondaries, you got power pools, just a bunch of different choices, and they look nice. Time was spent and care was taken in making these, powers and archetypes. They feel well put together. They're thought out on, when you should get access to those powers in those archetypes. They're balanced out mainly for PvE and some PvP, but just overall, all of the archetypes and power pools feel really good, or should I say power sets feel really good. Now, I want to go on to the next thing, and this is the random generation in the game. Not all of it's randomly generated. Your story archetype stuff is static stuff, and that's because it has stories in it. They have to know exactly when things are going to go off. They have to set up trigger boxes and things like this for things to happen, for the story to take place. So those aren't randomly generated. But when you're given missions that aren't story related but are just generic missions, it feels really good. It's not the regular, go kill 10 rats, go fetch this, go do this. It's a combination in there. And the fact that those levels are randomly generated, so you not like other MMOs and games where you go through a dungeon or you go through the building, it's the same every single time. You never know when you're going to get a left turn, or when you're going to get a big room, or when you're going to get T intersection and things like that, which makes it feel really good in the missions. And the fact that the missions can give you sometimes one option, sometimes 2 options, or 3 options, where it's go save this many people and bring them back to the entrance, or go, take out these many enemies and this boss. And then you also gotta find these clues. things like that all wrapped into one thing keeps the game feeling fresh, along with the whole entire thing that you got the radio in your contacts that you can click on to get randomly generated missions once you've gone through all of the contacts, which just adds so much more to it, and it fits well within the superhero MMO, as you got so many superheroes that listen to the radio bands like Batman, Spider-Man, stuff like that. Just makes it feel good and makes you want to play more and more, and gives you reason to play more and more, because it's not the same thing over and over again. It's all randomized, which adds to it. Next is character creation. You have so many choices and so many looks and so many ways to affect your powers that you feel unique, you look unique. When you enter in the world, you're the only one that looks and works like you in the game. You're not seeing another person that looks like you unless you set up with some friends, or you have some coincidence where someone creates something that looks exactly like you. But the chances of that happening are slim. We're talking like 0.05%. It's a big fluke for something like that to happen, and that really adds a good feel, especially to the people who like making multiple characters. I'm one of those that I'm an alcoholic. I make a bunch of characters because I'm always sitting there going, ooh, I got a new idea for a character. And yeah, I may choose some of the same powers, but the way I slot the enhancements is completely different, because I may want more knockback. I may want more damage on one. I may want more accuracy on another. Things like that you can change and enhance along with the look of the powers. That maybe one time you choose lightning and you want to be a blue regular lightning. Another time you use lightning, you might want to be a purple lightning or red lightning. You can change the effects of your powers, which just makes this another reason it's so addictive. You constantly create new characters because you're coming up with new ideas, and this game gives you that capability. It's also the body looks. You can change things like, the different shapes of the heads, not just pre-selecting, but you can choose how wide the head is, how long the head is, how broad the shoulders are, how long the legs are, how skinny the character is, how big the character is. All that kind of stuff adds into the effect. Now, another thing we have, and the final thing we have that all this leads into, is immersion. Like I was talking, the random generation, making things feel unique, that's part of the immersion. The fact that the sound effects and the animations add in to the immersion, but what adds into it even more is the NPCs filling the city. You got them walking around, driving cars, being mugged, being threatened, all these kinds of things. And not just those types of regular citizen NPCs. You have the heroes and the villains flying around and doing things and causing, the villains causing chaos in the city. Heroes doing interview with the press and stuff like that makes the world feel alive and immersive. Another final thing that adds to it is the fact that when you do these missions and you go into a building or a cave, this door opens up or this rock slides down when you're going into a cave. That just adds that extra touch of immersion. And when you're immersed into a game, you lose track of time, which makes it that much more addictive. You lose track for a while of reality, which can be a good thing because we all need breaks from reality from time to time. I hope you agree with me. If you have any other reasons that you're addicted to City of Heroes, please comment down below. Let me know, why are you so hooked on City of Heroes? What's your love with City of Heroes? If you haven't played City of Heroes, state what makes you interested in checking this video out. Why are you interested in City of Heroes? And check out some of my other videos that will be attached at the end of this video. I want to thank you for your time and have a great day.